Your Steve Jones Show podcast will start shortly. The Steve Jones Show podcast is sponsored by Brewers Outlet, your beverage supermarket on Reagan Street in Sunbury.
All right, I dialed 1-800-LEGEND, and this name came up, Johnny Holliday. Hello, Johnny.
November the 11th, 2022, the day that Johnny Holliday raises the ratings on Steve Jones' show.
It's about time somebody did.
Or tanks the ratings. Either raises it or puts it right in the dumpster.
Okay, the latter I can do all by myself.
And you've done an excellent job of doing that over the years.
I mean, nobody does a better job of setting the bar lower than me.
Well, how are you?
I'm doing well, my friend. How are you?
Well, I hope your producer's picked himself up off the floor, but I asked about, what kind of paycheck am I getting for this thing? Is he still in shock in there?
I know management is.
I'm doing extremely well. On the way up to a Happy Valley right now.
Perfect. All right.
Yeah.
So last week, it was hard watching the tape of that game only because I don't feel like I got a real judge of Maryland in watching it, at least offensively. How tough were those conditions at Camp Randall last week for any offense to operate in?
Well, you can imagine how difficult it was for me in the broadcast booth being from the state of Florida.
Yeah.
I'm used to winds. I'm not used to any kind of cold. I'm not used to having any kind of crosswind like that. I'm not used to being able to – I can't even grip the football or go to tackle somebody and slide right off of them.
Yeah.
I don't think, Steve, I've ever seen conditions like that. And every single Maryland player felt the same way. It was just you can't judge what you saw last week. It was just you throw that thing out the window. I think if they play in even better conditions, that the outcome could have been different. Who knows? But Wisconsin played an excellent game last week. Really a good football game, and they did a lot of things that maybe Maryland wasn't prepared for. Certainly the weather these guys didn't expect, and but that's last week, and now we have to worry about a week from tomorrow against Ohio State.
Yeah, exactly. That's well played. Well played.
You notice how I just kind of jumped over tomorrow's game?
Well done. So the running attack. We know Talia has been obviously the last couple of years has played really well for Maryland. What have Hemby, Littleton, and now Ramon Brown meant to what Mike Locksley wants to do in offense?
Well, the great thing about these kids, they are just absolutely phenomenal young men. I enjoy visiting with all three of those guys, especially Hemby, who went to John Carroll High School up in Bel Air, where two of my grandsons went. In fact, he played AAU basketball with one of my grandsons, and he is just the nicest kid. And the great thing about all three of them, they've still got 3 years to go at Maryland. They're all young guys. And they're still learning game by game how to do things a little bit differently. But Hemby's the one guy that I think defenses have keyed on to try to slow down and contain. He's had a lot of 100-yard games this year. And if you need a yard or two, he's the guy you want to go to. When you look at Littleton went from 285 down to about 225. And last year he was like a bowling ball when he carried the ball, and now he's like a duck pin ball when he carries the ball.
Yeah.
He's not like one of those big babies,
Yeah.
But that's increased his speed. He's got a 75-yard touchdown run this year for Maryland, and the kid is just on short yardage plays. It's either going to be him or Hemby to get that 1 or 2 yards that they need. And then the other kid, McDonald, is also a St. John's College High School kid in D.C., just like Littleton. And he doesn't play as much as the other two. And then you mentioned Brown, the freshman kid from down in Richmond, Virginia. So all these guys have got tremendous upside and really tremendous potential. And I think it's just the beginning of their careers. And all four are very valuable to our running game.
Yeah, obviously the wideouts with Jared and Jones and and Copeland, the transfer who came in there. But I keep looking at Deitchus, the tight end. What has he meant to what they want to do offensively?
Well, we got two good tight ends, Steve. You got Deitchus and C.J. Dupree.
Dupree's really good, 18,
Yeah, he was a quarterback in high school at Lakeland High School outside of Scranton, Pennsylvania. So both those guys, it seems like every time they go to the tight end, they're both one's as effective as the other one, in my opinion. And it seems like they're always open across the middle for some reason. And to have a tight end tied with a wide receiver for most receptions, that's rather unusual, I think. But he's a good blocker. He has excellent hands. Both of them do. And both of them contributing very, very much. And then when you look at Rakim Jarrett, he had 144 yards the last time when he was a freshman when he played against Penn State.
Oh, I know.
A couple of years ago up there. Yeah, he had a pretty good game. But it's interesting that all the big-name guys, like your Copeland, your Dante Demas, Rakim Jarrett, Jayshon Jones, all those guys, everybody had talked before the season began about how strong the Maryland receiving corps is. Well, none of those guys are having the years that they had in the past because other guys have been stepping up. He can go maybe 7 deep as far as wide receivers are concerned. He's got a lot of opportunities and a lot of flexibility from that position.
Yeah, in fact, I think Ty Felton 10's another good guy that's in that mix. You know?
And Octavian Smith, a freshman kid who's tremendous on kickoff returns. He's only a freshman. I mean, all those guys have been in the mix, and all those guys have got receptions this year. And that's a good luxury for any coach to have.
After getting, I think, 4 takeaways in the opening 5 games, they went through a stretch of 3 games where they had 8 takeaways along the way. What have you seen that's been a little different with that Maryland defense?
Well, in the past, they've given up a lot of yardage. I mean, a lot of yardage on the ground and through the air. And I think one of the things that Mike Locksley has focused on is the fact that, come on, guys, we've got experienced guys up front. See now, Ruben Hippolyte's back, one of the linebackers. He's been out. He missed 4 games. And when he was out, that really hurt the team. They've got a tremendous freshman in the middle, a middle linebacker, a kid that's on the list for maybe freshman of the year, like I think one of your guys is as well.
Yeah.
And so I think defensively, they've had to make some the game, as I mentioned, neither team was able to throw the ball. Both teams had 77 yards, I think, through the air. Yeah. But they were able to run the ball pretty in those conditions. So I think Mike he knows what he's going to get offensively. But I think defensively, that's the challenge, to try to get better from game by game, to try to improve on the numbers, cut down on the turnovers. We had, in one game, I think they had something like 17 or 18 turnovers.
Yeah.
And then the next game they come back and they have 1. Then the next game they go back and have 10. It's like an up and down barometer. You don't know what to expect defensively. And that's something he just does not accept. The same thing happening over and over again. He said, when he comes in our post-game interview after games, he said, like I'm preaching to the choir, I say the same thing every week, but we're beating ourselves more than somebody beating us. Yeah. He said, that's not good. If you get beat, you get beat. But if you make all the mistakes to give the game away, that's got to be fixed. And I think he's doing the best he can to fix all that, if that answers your question. And it probably doesn't.
But that's okay. I know I never answer anybody's questions anyway. No,
I just kind of danced. What do I know? I just kind of danced around it. But it sounded pretty good, didn't it?
I mean, I sat there. I was mesmerized by it, to be honest with you.
Here we go.
There we go.
Yeah.
Regardless of any outcomes down the stretch, Maryland is bowl eligible now. What does that, at least at minimum, mean for this program?
It means that we're bowl eligible now.
Yeah.
Which means that I think the pressure's off a little bit. And I brought that up to Locksley. I said, Coach, hey, you're 6 wins. You're bowl eligible. He said, that's not good enough.
Yeah.
That's not going to – you don't want to sit back and all of a sudden you lose 4 straight games and you're ending up 6-6 again, and you're going to go to a bowl – you might go to a bowl game, but if you're losing 4 in a row, who knows if somebody's going to pick you. But I think it took the pressure off these kids to have that so early. You know, to be 6-2, that hasn't happened since way back in 2010, I think, a long time ago, that they had this kind of success. And they are getting there. I think each year that Mike's been here, he's seen improvement in the numbers. But he doesn't sit back and rest on last game. It's always the upcoming, as you know, with Franklin as well, it's always the game that's coming up that's the most important.
I do have to ask you about the facility part of it, because they took Cole Fieldhouse, one of the great venues ever, but with Xfinity now built on the other side of campus, they have now converted that into a football facility. What are the facilities, do you think, mean to Maryland moving forward in the investment they've made in them?
The Maryland facilities are the second best in the country, behind Alabama.
Yeah.
That's the only, Mike Locksley said that is the only school that has better facilities than we do. And when a kid comes in to get a tour of this place, he's got to walk away saying, I want to come here. This has every possible thing a player wants, a player needs, a player desires. I can't even describe it. It took me maybe an hour, 45 minutes, 2 hours to tour it when it opened. It's got 5 floors.
Wow.
5 gigantic floors.
Wow.
Yeah. And it's phenomenal. And with recruiting, nothing beats that. If you've got a good facility, these kids are meeting. Kids, the little things are the things that really hit kids in recruiting. That what does the weight room look like? What are you serving for lunch? What's the lunchroom look like? What does the athletic room look like? All these things, and it is absolutely incredible. And it's got the indoor practice field. It's got the outdoor practice field. It is the meeting rooms are incredible. It's just something that I've never seen before.
Well, safe trip in. Are you up for a 6:30 reservation at the tavern tonight?
Oh, my. You know what I've heard about that place? Number one, I've heard the food is absolutely incredible.
It is.
Incredible. And if I'm just somebody passing through State College, I'm going to make a point of going to the tavern.
Yep.
And the staff they have there, off the charts. The management. I don't know. Look. You're doing your show there. What other place would want to have you but the tavern? What other place would have you but the tavern?
Johnny, I already have the reservation secured. So
I just wanted to make sure. What's the manager's name again?
Jamie.
Oh,
Jamie,
of course.
Jamie Ryan.
Oh, what a person. What a person.
Yes, she's great. She's great.
Yeah. I'm glad you said she. I was going to say he's quite a guy.
She's great.
No, yeah, that's right. Jamie is a her. Yeah. She's tremendous. She's got the whole package going. She's the kind of person that could run Marriott Corporation if she wanted to. But no, she's happy at the tavern.
Yeah. I'm not surprised that you came up with that evaluation. Again, I've already
on hand tonight.
I've already secured the reservation.
Yeah, but I just want to, you never know what could happen. Will she be there tonight so I can actually shake her hand and get a photograph?
Absolutely. In fact, they may put it up on the wall.
Yeah. And what, alongside yours? No.
Well, I'll get back to you on that.
Yeah, I've said this over and over again. Look how fortunate Penn State is to have you doing their games. Oh my God! They just they don't go to other schools and compare broadcasters. There's no comparison, not at all.
That's why everybody loves. That's why everybody says, "Boy, I'm glad the Maryland's guy's coming in." All right, so.
Hey, for your information, in case you're tracking me, I just passed exit 35.
Perfect.
Yeah. We're still only 3 hours away.
Great. Love the traffic. Hey.
Me too.
Yeah. Hey, be safe. I will see you in a little bit.
Okay, Steve. Thank you so much, as always.